Happy Onewheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scot Mendenhall. A little echo because the TV monitor is on. Sorry about that. We're hoping you're doing fabulous today on this Onewheel Wednesday. So much to talk about because of what Onewheel did last Friday. They did it again. Oops, they did it again. They make us want things we didn't know we were going to want. You spend money, you got to spend it again kind of situation. They did it again. But a lot of places are doing it. Float Life did it again too. Let's just start off with, if you're in the tire market, we have not slapped this thing on. Just life around here has been quite busy. But this is going on. It is a full-on treaded tire. The tread is sick. This is, I mean, come on. Has Float Life ever put out a tire that just isn't good? This is the Thundercat, everyone. We have the Thundercat. I don't know if you can see those treads right there. It is something to be just behold.
And it
look
says
at
it
that.
on the side.
Yeah.
Well done, Float Life.
Look
That's
at this.
sick.
I love it when you can see their logo in it, and then the sides are just, they're now etching the sides. It's becoming an art to make tires, really. It's no longer just about functionality, which they do such a great job, but it's an art to make the tread and your logo and the sidewalls something to behold. So well done, Float Life. Thank you for sending this out. Can't wait to slap it on as a review. It has everything we want so far and just the feelings of it. Pretty soft in the center. Not hard, but pliable sidewalls, which means it's going to hold you on some serious carving of berms and things. So can't wait.
This is like your...
This is my what?
Like, you like tires.
Well, it's one of the first things, if you're in the one-wheel market, it's one of the first things that you can do to upgrade your ride. It's pretty inexpensive to do. You need to know, require some skills to do it, obviously, but it's pretty easy. Everyone can do it. And so that's why it's fun to, you want to mess around with changing your ride
But
versus...
it also makes a big difference in your ride.
Yeah, for sure. Every tire. Like somebody's complaining about what they don't like about a certain ride, and I just say, change your tire. Change the PSI. That's my wife talking. We didn't introduce her. She's rocking with us. And then you got Lily over here.
Too.
She gave,
Gang's
she's
all here.
Lily just celebrated 1 year marriage.
Yeah, well done.
A whole year, 365 days.
We're now into the second year. Second year better than first.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of how it goes. In marriage, it's like, it just gets better every year.
Fine
That's what
wine.
I've heard.
Yeah, it's just true. Because you figure it out. You figure out how to not be so selfish, I think what it is.
If you figure out how to not be so selfish.
Yeah, I mean,
some don't. And it
some
goes
people might have,
downhill.
yes. Wait, what is Float Life saying? Scott, do you give
Your Vikings helmet.
a spin
right before every episode. And I
You
said it's
know
like
it.
the earth never stops spinning.
It
if
never
you're in
stops
that
spinning.
camp.
It just spins and spins and spins. No, we kill the power on this side of the studio, and so as soon as you shut off the power, it sucks it to the top, and yeah, we spin it every time. And then sometimes if I'm overzealous in what I'm talking about, I'll hit the desk, and the vibration will make it suck
Do
up
it.
to the top.
Try
so
it.
no, I like it spinning.
Looks good spinning.
It's sweet. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, I had to have it. It's just, and today we're bringing Kabuchi into the studio today. That's in the love for Float Life as well. They seem to always have kombucha.
Kombucha on
Running.
tap.
Yeah, I think they
Kombucha.
have it on tap. They can confirm that for us.
Yeah.
Did you see this for all of those? I know you got here what one we're going to get to that, but Float Life did announce they're working on something. I think in the middle of, it wasn't the desert. I think it was Tahoe. They were writing something to test out something for us. And it's always like, well, what is it?
Something.
It's
What
like,
are
what
them
is
boys
it? And
up
now how
to?
much is that going to cost me? Like Onewheel last Thursday dropped When All the Dust Settles. And you're like, ooh, what is this? What is this something when all the dust settles? I was like, okay, what is this about when the dust settles from moving into their new offices? What is it? What is it? What is it? And then they did it to us. And before we get to that, we all last week were reason that tire didn't get slapped on. We last week ran a camp for several hundred people in the Twin Cities. There's a free camp. They got to come. We got video footage of it. So you get an idea. Like when we say we're doing
Oh,
camps,
yeah, it was
we
so
create
fun.
this stuff from the ground up. It's all original stuff to me and Lily. If we can hit it, it's in there. Or maybe I didn't drop it in there. I don't know. I guess I didn't. I thought we're getting from our tech team. It's not there. And so... My apologies. Oh, we got it. Here we go. I got a thumbs up. This is what we were doing last week. Again, all OG stuff. Weather was a little rainy. We make our own slip and
man.
slides there.
Best
Yeah,
slip
those
and slide
things are
ever.
fun.
in the middle of a park.
Shout out
We had
paddle
50 pillows donated to us, and they had to search for a small pillow inside a pillow. Hilarious.
Oh yeah, so funny. Pillows flying
They had
everywhere.
to chug. What are those? Freezy pops.
Those are those. Yeah, like the icy pops.
And
like
spit it
in
back
the
out.
plastic.
Yeah. And then Lily was just giving some thoughts of the day there, and then we're having them to make some slings, and then they got to chuck a lot of cool things. And then you see in the screen right there, we make our own video that they get to all watch, which
The
is
last
so much
one
fun.
wheeler
Yeah,
standing.
the last,
If you haven't checked it out.
So here's the deal with that. The last one wheeler standing. Again, I know you've come here. We're gonna get to what one wheel should I buy? Recurve rails, the 6-inch hub, or something else. We're gonna get to that conversation today, but before we get there, we weren't here last week. We did that camp, and then we do our own video style that we try to teach. Hey, don't give up. Hey, when you experience loss. So we had 16 people come out onto our property and race the Northern Garden Trails, and we filmed it all as best as we could to try to tell the story of what took place. And it was a different kind of race. It wasn't about speed. It wasn't about how talented you were. It is how much can you manage your battery.
Yeah, a lot of strategy into it.
And so some would say, well, pints aren't going to make it, but we had pints make it in pretty far into the rounds. We have a video and we'll put some music to it so you get to hear it. So let's unmute the computer over there, and then let's hit because you can go watch all of it, all 5 of them consecutively, and it'll be awesome, okay? You will absolutely love it. I'm not sure.
It's like a mini series.
It's like a mini series,
It's
yeah.
great.
For sure. So here, rolling the what we posted
Welcome
on
to Scot
Instagram.
and Friends.
Maybe wet your
Last
whistle,
One Wheeler
Scot and
Standing. This is
Friends.
where
I don't
we're gonna
hear
find out
it,
who
so
is
I
the
don't know if
best
you
of the
guys can
best
hear it at all.
in the Twin Cities of Minnesota.
And maybe
Here's the idea.
and maybe I just can't
Take a
hear
one
myself
wheel,
either.
Charge it to 100%.
Oh,
Last one
I
standing.
can't hear my headphones.
with
They're
battery
not working today,
percentage.
so you
wins.
can't hear it.
Let's get it started.
It's a lot of fun, okay? So don't miss Last One Wheeler Standing. It is on our YouTube channel. Go look for Last One Wheeler Standing 2024, and you can watch all of the 5 episodes. If you got a family, fun to watch with them because they'll get to pick their fun racer. And
See
so,
who strategized the best.
Yeah, they dropped every day last week at noon. We showed a short version at that camp. So sorry we missed everybody last week at One Wheel Wednesday. We were riding our one wheels at the camp.
Oh, yeah.
And we gave our MVPs of every team. There were 10 teams, right, Lily?
10 teams.
10 teams. They voted of their most valuable player, and we gave them a one-wheel mini kit, spray-painted gold as their trophy, and they loved it.
Yeah, it was sweet.
They were stoked. They were like, this is the best trophy ever. So, okay, let's get to middle of camp, end of camp, and we're aware that something's dropping last Friday, and it's like, what's going on? And then you see this footage, and this drops on YouTube from One Wheel, and it's really awesome news, honestly. You know, their big slogan was when the dust all settles, and you know it's a one wheel. But even in this shot here, you have no idea what you're seeing yet. It's still like obvious a one wheel. It's not a scooter, and they're just showing you people
the
sending it.
production was so good.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Neil talked about how he's never rode so fast in his life on this terrain, which is so cool to hear from his vantage point. And then what it is, the news is, that's Neil talking about it right there, is that it's a recurve rails, thank you, which is awesome. But it's recurved in the opposite direction of we've seen from other people or other products. So it's interesting. I don't know how many deep dives you put into what it is and how's this going to ride. I have not got a chance to ride it yet, so I know nothing about it. I know it looks very interesting. I think that the idea that it's recurved the opposite direction of what Float Life dropped a couple months ago, which is, what are they calling those? Are they the dovetails? Am I right on that? Dovetails. Sorry, I said dove. Dovetails, which allows your tail to not smack and drag as much. They went the total opposite direction, which is wild. Which leads you to, well, what one are you going to buy? You now have options when it comes to the GTS. Okay, you still have the Pint X, and you have a GT. And then you have the GTS series, okay? It's a series of 3 boards. You can get the stock version that everyone bought about a year ago, which that price dropped to now, I think, $2,900, which, great. It's cheaper. $2,900 you can get. I think we have a picture of all the boards, so you can kind of see what we're talking about here as we talk about it. There we go. Here are your options. You can kind of see it over to the right. You click things. So it's when you go to onewheel.com, you start with the One Wheel GTS, and then there's just the S Series, and then the next button is the S Series with the recurve rails, and then the behemoth of them all is the rally version, which is the 6-inch hub with the recurve rails. So
Okay.
That's a lot of options.
Question. That is a lot of options. Does the GTS, regular GTS, take the place of the GT? You think the GT will fall off? And is the rally meant to be kind of like the racer's ride?
I think the GT will fall off.
You do.
I don't think there's really a place for it.
I think you, but I do in
Maybe-
range.
Oh, in range. I forgot about
You
that.
don't have something-
I was going to say maybe price.
Okay.
maybe.
But you don't have anything offering that range.
So like if you're like a commuter or something like that, if you live in a city, you're like that's going to be an awesome ride for that.
I think they've tried to. I think you do the Pint X if you're in the city of mobility with it. If you got to jump on subways and buses.
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah.
But still, that doesn't give you ultimate range. I think range-wise, you're going to GT, and you're going to put up with the cumbersome of the size for a commuter.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
think the GT drops off. They even alluded
Okay.
to in the announcement last Friday that the GT is going to have the ability to get the recurve rails on it as
Yes,
well.
you're right,
So
you're right.
I don't think it's going anywhere. I think if anything's going to drop off at some point, it's
Well-
going to be the Pint.
And there, we often think inside the lens of we like trails. We like to ride trails. So the GT is great. Like for range, you'll get it with pavement. Like if you're a pavement rider,
Right.
it'd be perfect.
Yes. So I again, when it comes to, we're kind of moving towards the GT. I mean, if you're gonna drop money on like a GT, I would get a GTS because of just the mere fact you're getting so much power.
Yeah.
And I would take less range. Lily, you're running around on a GT, and you see it all the time. Where I'm not more talented on the board. It's just my board has so much power, I can just buzz right by you.
Yeah,
when
I would
want.
take a GTS any day.
See?
I'm not a range rider as much.
No, and that's the thing is that you want to
That'll
hit
be
these
the big
trails and
difference.
just be able to go when you want to go. And so we're talking today. You know, if you're just starting out, you're young Grom. Yeah, get a Pint X. Those are
Pint X.
awesome boards. Did I say something other Pint X?
Pint or Pint X, but
Oh,
I vote Pint X.
Pint X.
Yeah,
yeah.
we were just commenting probably. Pints.
I would go that route if you're just jumping into this. And for all those parents, they're like, well, will my kids, what's their age? I know on the boxes and stuff, it's like 14 and above or something like that. Onewheel has to say that stuff. That's what their lawyers put on it, okay? And you got to ride these and decide what's appropriate for your children,
Ride
okay?
and decide.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's good. Ride and decide. We should make that a sticker. Ride and decide. Ride and decide if you want a Onewheel and what one. Ride it first. But I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you, in this household, all our kids ride. And here's a little hack for you. I posted this on our shorts just yesterday.
this is great.
It's got like 17,000 views in one evening. It's Revolution, who just turned 5 years old. Here's the hack. Felt pads that you put on furniture legs helps the sensor engage so much more rapidly and stay engaged as he's trying to figure out how to Onewheel. And he just is sending it. And then he likes to do this. He likes to jump off and watch his Onewheel still move.
He thinks
But
that's funny.
It
It does work. He's been working on riding for a really, really long time and can't keep the board activated just because he slightly moves his little foot. He doesn't weigh very much. And so the minute his little foot moves, the board, it ends. And so
Right.
this has been a game changer. He's doing really well.
So Pint X and Pints are great for the kids. Especially, man, if you got a family, one of the best things we do around here, and we got a lot of cool, but we love to Onewheel. And so we'll all hop on our Onewheels and go. And it's just fun to look around and you got 10 people in your immediate group ride. Lily and Jordan jump in occasionally here and there. And so Pints, if you're a kid all day. Now as an adult, I'm going GT, maybe the GT, I'm going GTS. So let's talk about those, okay? Because that's what just dropped. What are you going with in the 3? And let's talk about how they dropped them. I think I just saw Sean Paul. How you doing, my friend? What color's the kilt today? Just want to know. And then he's saying, in his opinion, the Pint's the next to go. And perhaps that is going to be out. And so it would be interesting to see when that happens, maybe around the holidays or something. But with the GTSs, now you have options. It's a series. They even alluded to it when they dropped it a year ago, GTS series, which means there's a series of boards. You have options for your style. If you're just beginning or you're upgrading from GTS, I think the 6-inch hub, you're going to probably like a little bit more. So if I'm picking out of the 3 as a somewhat, I'm not going to look to podium, or I don't really care about riding really, really well in trails. I kind of want this hybrid thing. I'm going with the GTS with the 6-inch hub.
The middle one.
The middle one.
Because you like the cushion of the tire, like the smaller hub.
Yeah.
Gives you more of the tire.
You got more rubber. So it's like they're even posting. I think if we can put that
And you like
up
that
again. I think
tire.
it talks about in the picture. It says eliminates vibration or something. If we can put that up, I think when you click on the GTS Series Recurve Rally version, it says in the description what's the advantages of the 6-inch vibration dampening and stuff like that.
Okay, does it come with the? I was on there earlier and I just forget what tire.
It's this. They have
Yeah.
redone. We have the hub sitting here, and we have the motor. It is brand new, straight out of the box.
So
not
can
been
you
rode
return
yet.
that?
Probably. But I could also, because now you have options. This leads us to a little bit of the predicament here. Is we do have the motor. The motor is brand new. We're going to drop it in just to see, get all the juicy details of the smaller rim, which I like the 6-inch.
That's the motor for the Rally?
That's what Rally
what-
would have this
That's
motor
what they're
And
going to
the
get.
With the
GT, that's a 6-inch hub.
with the recurve rails.
Right.
Now, you can, in my position, because I have the motor
Yeah.
and I have the GTS, I can go to services. It took me a little bit to find it. Thank you to Austin. He sent me the link. I didn't know where to go find where you can send in your board to get
Just the rails?
Just the rails put on. And so you go to these services, you go GTS, and then you'll see the recurve rails. We have a picture of it for you guys to just see what you're looking for. So you got to do a little bit of digging on their website. So that's what it is. The GTS service recurve rail swap service. Okay, it's $450. That includes shipment out and back, new rails, and they keep what it only I can allude to. It keeps your rails.
I found it.
Because it says it gets rid of the unused parts. You might be asking, why are they having to do that? Obviously, there's a software deal. They're going to put a new software on your board that's going to fit the rails.
For the rails.
Yes.
Tilting or whatever.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the balance is going to be very different.
That's above my head, but I understand.
So it's $450 to do that. You're, in my spot, trying to ride my one wheel every day for a year. That's a solid.
At least
Maybe
they
7
are pretty
days?
Quick. They're pretty quick, but I would say a week.
A week
least.
without my one wheel, my GTS, which is not a problem. It's first world problems for sure. It really is. So it's not a real complaint. But that's one of the struggles that hampers that kind of move going down is to get the rails, because this is not something that you're going to be able to do yourself because it's software related. And it's $450. And when you do the math, it doesn't seem overpriced at all, in my opinion, because from Minnesota, the shipment is roughly $100 and some to go to California. You have the rails, $200, I'm guessing, or so. I don't know. So there's $300.
Yeah, but think of some of the what are the Float Life's rails? What?
Yeah, we'd have to look. Maybe Lou, you can go, or Float Life can hop
I
in
had
here.
it up here.
What do the dovetails cost? And outside of one wheel parts, those tech rails are like $750, right?
$450.
$450 for those rails. So $450.
So you're saying
With-
because the shipping's included? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's outlandish. It's time away from my board. It's not outlandish. It's like that's the hard part to swallow, which
Is
it makes
the
me
time
go.
away from your board.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now I don't have a board and I don't have another GTS, so it makes you want to go, which is great marketing on their part.
I'm just gonna get a new
maybe
GTS
I should just
Rally.
get a new GTS Rally, which is like $3,500. That's before taxes, I believe. If I'm right, the Rally, the Primo Racing deal is $3,500, which for ridables, I don't think that's overpriced. It's just it definitely weighs in. Stoked to try it. I can't speak on the rideability. I appreciate you need to go to One Wheel YouTube channel and you need to watch the video they dropped on Friday where it's Kyle, the creator, Jack, the chief engineer, Mercedes, and Austin Silva. They just talk about the design of those rails and the way Austin breaks it down. I mean, you can watch it here. You won't know what he's saying, but the way he breaks it down, it's like, oh, I get that. I'm not a scientific guy. And so when he's talking about it, it's like, oh, yeah, that totally makes complete sense. We don't need audio. Just hit play on it, and there you go. They're just trying to explain gravity and what the board's doing with these recurve rails. And so
And he's so good at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
I
right
watched it
up
and I was
his
like,
wheelhouse.
I understand.
and they're writers, so they're trying to get the max ride out of anything that they're going to put.
Yeah,
under
this is
their
where he
feet,
starts
so.
talking about, well, your foot, when it's going forward, it's just genius. A way to make it understandable to me why they went the route they did with the recurve rails versus some other version. So I'm pretty stoked on that, understanding those things. Now you have choices. So what one are you going to go with now that you have all those decisions? Maybe you have some questions in the chat we can fire away and talk about today as well on the new recurved rails and stuff. I think it's a good move. I do wish there was a way, and I get it's a software thing, and I don't know all the nuts and bolts on why they... I wish it was something you buy the rails, do it yourself. That would make it so much more easier to do.
Do you think that they're trying to do that though? Because they are trying to do more servicing things or like training in how to switch things out or whatever. So do you think they're trying to open that up where like the servicing is easier?
Well, it's not servicing, because like I can't do it.
Yeah, because you have to send it in.
I have to send it in.
Well, I mean, for them, like they want to be able to do it for you.
No, they don't. They've been releasing all these other products. They have a
that
service
you can
center.
buy and do yourself.
you
Yeah,
can
the
do yourself.
controllers,
Okay,
the
okay.
batteries, all those
So
other
I'm saying, why
things
not this
you
too?
can do on your own now all of a sudden with the recurve rails. And again, it's a software related thing. You just can't do it.
Okay, someone in the chat said if you send it in, get it set up with it being a software thing, and then when it comes back to you, could you put like WTF rails back on it? Like
Well, no,
once
because
once it's fixed, or not fixed, but once it's
I
set,
would say no, because
you'd have issues.
the recurve on this, the recurve rails, it's the nose that goes up, not the tail.
So it's totally different.
Right. So
Yeah.
the balancing of that, what is
You
level?
have to ride your board backwards.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to enjoy. I would assume, and I also think that's why. And then again, I don't know any of this information, so it's just me speculating. Me being an
You're just
investigator.
shopping. You were on the website today. Just looking
I
at it.
think when they are sending, or what it alludes to, and maybe I read it differently, on they'll dispose of the other things, is that they're not sending the rails back because they don't want you to put the straight rails back on there with that software. Which it leads me to my next, I want two boards. Because if I don't enjoy that recurve rail for every type of riding,
you want to be able to swap.
I want to be able to swap.
I mean, that's a perfect world right there.
Yeah, true. Well said. But again, you get these recurve rails that have never rode them yet, and you don't like
And you're
it.
stuck with it.
Chances,
You got them.
Do you really think you're not gonna
Chances
like
are,
it?
with the type
Like,
of
let's be
riding you
honest.
do, I think that's in question for like.
I'm just speaking as I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
past
understand
just
that.
me. I'm looking for everybody that's in the market, and they're asking the same questions. Well, how about I don't like it? What do? I just spent $450 and now I don't enjoy it, which means they need to get these boards, demo rides. They Onewheel was just at the X Games. I don't know if they were
Yeah.
letting people ride the rally versions there, which again, more people. Again, what did you say earlier, Lily? That we say we're gonna get?
Ride
And decide.
and decide.
Oh, you already forgot. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a
I
great
did.
sticker.
Ride and decide. I'm looking up the return policy because I'm curious.
Ride and decide.
Ride and decide. Well, but I mean, if you follow Austin, he's been out there with some, as on his travels and doing group rides and stuff and letting people. But I don't know if they had it at the.
Come on, let's
X
just
Games.
pause there for the Silvas, wherever they are. Like they were in Tennessee. I have no idea where they're at right now. It's like where's Waldo kind of situation with those two. Just because they posted they were in Tennessee does not mean they're currently
That
in
they're
Tennessee.
there.
Right, but they were
Well,
just recently
true.
there. Nick and Rachel Payne were out there. It was like, how did I not get that invite? It wasn't invited on Facebook,
Wait,
right?
what? To
It's-
where?
I was having FOMO.
They're like
They were in Tennessee riding
They're
around.
heading down to Wheel Scorcher.
you're
gonna
go to
I would
Tennessee?
say they just
I don't know.
paused and.
I was just messing. I'm not really, but I was FOMOing for sure. Just fear of missing out, watching all those guys come together in Tennessee. Some of the best riders of this year that keep podium. They're all coming together, just smashing it. I get it. I
So
get it. If
fun.
I was there, I'd be the caboose, and I get it. I know no more. You're doing
No,
the same
that's
thing.
not, we
But
just had to say, hey, we're gonna go and meet you guys
I was
down
running.
there.
We were running a camp. There's no way we're coming. I'm being dumb. I'm not being for real.
You're
Just in
not.
case anyone is.
Return policy.
Taking you forever to find it though. But I'm being dumb on that. I'm not being for real. Please.
only return on all unused and unopened items within 30 days of delivery. So like someone said they got their GTS 2 weeks ago, but you had to have not used it, which I doubt you didn't use it.
No,
So,
because that's what's awesome about the future
that
motion
sucks.
boards. You take it
But
out
you
of the
haven't
box
used
and you
that.
ride.
You haven't used
No,
that hub.
I'm not
so you
returning it.
You could though.
I know I could, but that's not even an option around here. We have so
Well,
many
if
boards
you
around
wanted to
here.
get the rally,
Yeah, but that only gives you.
No.
but it's still an option.
It's an option.
You're
It's an
saying
option. You could put
your-
whatever that costs
Your
toward
best
it.
option would just be to order a rally.
But I could turn my board into a rally.
You could, but yeah. I
But
mean,
two
our-
boards would be the best because currently I absolutely love my setup. I love what I have currently. Like it's the straight rails. It's a 5-inch hub from Onewheel Parts. I like that tire that's on it, which is a Float Life tire. It's the 655. I just love it.
You just love it.
I love it.
I love my setup.
And so I got zero complaints
You
on
gonna
it.
go out and ride today? Mm-hmm. You should.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Yep.
day.
It is a beautiful day here.
I got to go build some features, finish off some things around here in our trails.
Exciting.
We have some more events happening out here that we'll be doing out here, so we're stoked on it. And as we're even doing the podcast, we got about 5 of our kids just whipping by here, blowing smoke because they're just riding the trails. Love it.
Yeah.
We're a
That's
one-wheel
what
family.
we built them for.
Yeah. Dogs chasing them is great times. So back to the dilemma. I would want the rally.
Well, I know.
I want the rally.
We know you want 2, 1 of each.
That's what I'm aiming for. I got to figure out how to get to.
But I would just
I
get
don't
the
think
rally.
everybody can decide
Yeah,
that.
but
So if you're
you-
deciding one board and one board only,
I would get the rally.
you'd get the rally recurve rails.
Yeah.
Because I know how good the GTS was, and I believe that I would love it.
Hands down, you're just going that way.
Yeah, but I
If
will
money's
say,
not an option, but if money's an option, what are you
if
doing?
I was gonna say,
Regular
Well,
GTS.
for the
What?
type of riding that you do, a GTS would.
Yeah.
Now, if you are,
But I would
if
do the
you are
rally.
really into the racing league, I think the rally rails would be amazing for you. I go on trails at a race very sporadically, so I'm probably fine with my setup that I
AKA
have.
one time in
Now,
my life.
I noticed the biggest difference with the GTS motor. That is a game changer. So
So much
I would
power
suggest
and
to
torque.
anybody at least the GTS. At least.
Yeah. Hands down. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the one you got to go with is a GTS. And then decide what you want to do tweaking wise. I would suggest your next deal would be to do the 6-inch hub. I don't know if you're catching this as they're not saying this on the videos and stuff, but as you go and put it in your shopping cart and stuff, the fenders and the rail guards don't ship until later this fall. I think August through September is kind of where it's putting it because they have a brand new fender, which is cool. They now have a fender that would fit the recurve rail, which is really cool, but they don't have that right now.
It's a pre-order or something
I
like
think
that.
so. I think that stuff is what comes out later, which would mean you'd have to ride through some serious conditions without fenders, which leads me back to, shoot, 2 boards. 2 boards. Because then if it's a wet mess out there, but not raining, I could slap a fender on my board and get riding, which I'm excited about what fender they're going to do this with. It's the hybrid fender, which is my favorite fender they have, which is it just clicks on and off.
And then what's new about it?
It fits to the recurve because the recurve goes up.
So it's not like that new.
Well, it's a new style. Does that make sense when I say
Well,
that?
yeah, you couldn't use it on your GTS.
No, it's just for the recurve rails. So
yeah, here's somebody saying like they don't want to send their board to the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Because
that
if
would
you
be hard.
are, that's a lot.
I mean, they said their only option is VESC. Go for it. That's what they're saying. Because they don't want to repair, or they want to be able to repair it themselves.
Yeah, but you can with what Onewheel is dropping. Is you can fix, and we've done it here. This is like we're the test case for this. We had a board go down at Dirt Surfers, and I just did some troubleshooting. I knew the battery was good, and I knew the controller was good. I was like, let's just get a new motor. And so what we did is we got a GTS motor, 6.5 inch, and we took and put that onto a GT, which gave that individual more power, more torque, and all those wonderful pieces of things into their board, and we fixed it. had to wait for shipment to get parts, but just so like most vest people, if it's a component broke, you have to wait, you have to order and get it. And so you can fix everything on your board now. Those thoughts of I can't get my board fixed that's a conversation.
Well, this is somebody in Europe.
Yeah, but even in Europe, you could still order it. It would take time.
Yeah.
But right, like I'm just saying, the conversation of I can't fix my board is gone because you can buy
those parts.
parts now, even down to a pint. You can buy the motor, you can buy the controller, the battery. Gone are those days, which is pretty cool.
Maybe they didn't know that because I said that would be better.
Yeah. So you can fix so much, which is good on their part. Like that's what the entire community has been really asking for is rights to repair. You can rightly repair for the most part.
The Footlife has a good question. They said, what's the deal with the serial number on the Recurve rails with the rail swap service? Do they give you a new serial number or do they custom laser the same serial number on? How does that work, especially if there's an issue?
Well, I think here's my limited knowledge but understanding as I keep jacking around with the Onewheel portal. As you go into the Onewheel portal, you can scan it's a QR code on the rail, and it'll put your serial number in it. But going off the app is where your real serial number is because it's coming from the inside of that. And in the portal, you switch things around. So I think what would happen is when I swap out this 6-inch hub I have onto my GTS, and I go into the portal, I tell them that's what I put in there. And it will match the board and serial number. So I would have to believe they're going to start. That portal will be part of the process. That board will come in with the serial number, and the rails will be matched to it. Is my limited thoughts of how they would do that. And so that portal is built like that. As you move things around and swap things out. Is switching serial numbers. When you get the controller, you have to update. You don't have to. Actually, I think you do with the portal because I think when you do that in the portal, it will communicate to your board that those things are happening so it doesn't brick. Cool. There you go.
Okay, that's a little bit above my pay grade. Sure.
I don't know 100% because no one's done it yet. But I have used the portal. I mean, we have 10 humans in this house.
That's in the app, right? The portal thing you're talking about?
The portal is you got to go to onewheel.com/portal. Let me, I'll look it up here. Because
I can look it up.
Yeah,
it's myonewheel.com, I believe.
Yeah, Onewheel.
But you have to go in and register, and then if you change anything, you got to upgrade it, right?
I've never done this.
Yeah, you gotta start. It's not, and the cool thing is it connects to your app on your phone,
right?
But you got to go through the portal to do it. They announced the portal 3 weeks ago when the GTS motor dropped,
right?
And then the controllers dropped, and then when you watch how to do the controllers, they tell you have to go to the portal.
Right.
To
upgrade
in the battery to be able to communicate. Yeah. The other pieces of that information beyond my pay grade of what, of what I understand. I think there's other questions. What happens when somebody purchases a board and it changes ownership? I think that has to happen in the portal as well. And so, and I think, I have more.
It's kind of like a title for a car.
A little bit, but at least you get to know the service is done to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a way to track those
Carfax.
things.
Carfax.
But it's allowing you to know what parts are on the board, how new is the controller.
As long as you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do it. You don't. This is not a requirement to ride your board.
No.
It is a requirement to do some of the fixing of your board. And I do think it comes down to warranty. Because if you can't track that somebody put the controller in and they fry the battery in doing the controller or vice versa, fry your battery when put a new battery in, they need to be able to track, well, that's not the original parts and you didn't do the service or we didn't do the service. Because they give an option when you buy the controller, you can tag in. Like you go there and go to onewheel.com, go to accessories potentially, or and put a controller in there. I think you can select Onewheel services where they would do the fixing of it. They would be the ones that you pay a fee to have it go out there and they do it. And so it's built into those things. Or you can have it at a cheaper price, but you have to do it and use the portal. So they're building
There's still
something.
a lot of learning on it,
Yeah.
like on our people end of things.
I just wish, I'm not there. Like somebody's gonna. There's no. Fine. They've got spent more time talking about these recurve rails and what they're doing than I have even had time to think about it.
For sure.
But I wish they could use the portal to update my software at home so I can just get the rails. I would have already ordered the rails. There would have been no question.
I
would have gotten them
believe
already.
you. I believe you that you would have done that already.
Yeah.
No question.
But the
in my mind.
hesitation is the
You don't want to
process.
be without your board.
Yeah.
Which that you and I have talked about that a lot. Like, to have an extra board that's just sitting here is awesome because we go through them so fast. So, I get it.
Yeah.
But that is a major hesitation.
I don't
because
think you can add servicing.
You can't?
I don't think so.
The question in the chat is a lot like what to have the portal be used for the rails. Just doesn't really make sense. Is what?
And maybe
some
the
of
portal's not
consensus.
used for the rails. But
Yeah.
no, you would have to. You'd have to use the new. I would think
With the recurve.
the recurve rails
yeah,
will go on there.
because you're going to need a software update. So then that's going to be on there
So
as well.
Lily, I think what has to happen, if I remember correctly now, sorry about this, is you would put the controller in your box and buy it, and then you would go and set up a service.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Well, no, I'm not telling you,
Oh.
but I think you
you're
go
saying-
over
you were
telling
to
me to buy it.
support.
Oh,
You go over to support, and then you
buy the parts.
do service
but do
and buy
people
the part
know
there.
that when they go to buy this?
I'm telling you,
It's all new. So
It's all new.
learning.
I couldn't find how to do the recurve rails, and Austin Silva
Until
helped me.
Service. Yeah, now it's like
I was like, "Where is this? I can't find the
anything
button."
that you're going to change or like it has to go back to them.
Which makes sense. It's a service.
It's a service. Yeah, that makes
They're
sense.
doing it, so you'd have to go to service to set up a service to put in a
Got
new controller.
it.
Buy the
Okay.
controller,
Right.
send the board.
And here's the thing: is they're working on this. I guarantee you, they're gonna figure out over time. Oh, let's tweak this and make it different because they've never done this. They're trying to do something the community asked for. And so we got to give them a bit of patience to sort of. I think it's genius what they're doing.
Well, and
I
they
like the portal.
usually-
I like the portal.
I
'cause-
think the portal's neat. They usually are far beyond. Maybe they've already troubleshooted some of this, and then we're just learning it. It takes a little while for us to figure it out. And at the moment, we don't have any boards that need fixing right now.
At
No,
the
'cause-
moment.
because but no, I'm not knocking on wood. They do. They're warm. Like every board. Like this is how it goes in the house. Like people are like, oh, you must be so wealthy. Is it? No. We just hand boards down, and we just keep fixing boards and working on boards. I own my own service center for Onewheels. It's just I service only my
Not
household.
open to the public.
Yeah, and I do Lily's board and her husband's board, but I don't do much for because I don't like that liability on if they don't like how I did it or whatever. But our boards just get handed down, and so they're often. And they ride them so hard. The other day, one of my kids like, Dad, come see how much air I'm getting off this
my
rock.
word.
We have a big old rock we dug up from the
Down
ground.
in
It's
the
like
trails.
4 feet round, and it's huge. So we just shoved it in the
launch
side
off
of the
of
hill with
that.
the help
Oh,
of
you do?
Jacob, my good friend from North. He has the equipment to make my dreams a reality. He just shoves it in the side of the hillside, and now we can launch off of it. And they are just fully sending it. Their goal is to jump over a 6-foot human. And so they're trying to bonk off this thing and send it. And it's like, no wonder our boards break. Epic, he's going, Dad, my board's making a funny noise. I'm like, do you think? Like you're dropping it out of the sky. Gravity always wins.
Yeah.
We talk about it feels like floating, but you don't float. Okay, those things come straight back to Earth. And so we swap parts around. It would be interesting. I don't sit down behind a computer very often. Outside of when we're doing, when I work, when I'm down in the office, I don't want to sit behind a computer, but I think I can sit there and go, oh, I moved this hub to this board, so you kind of understand where everything's going. You just have to manually put all that in there, which is
Which
okay.
takes a little bit of time, but once it's there, it's easy to upkeep.
Now you're tracking where
So,
stuff is.
yeah,
Because here's what
it's-
the other thing that happens is we've had some boards before this stuff was all coming out.
We didn't know where parts came from.
And then we had to reassemble boards to match everything up right to get it back so they would work on it.
Which is
Yeah.
annoying.
It's annoying because it's a lot of tearing down multiple boards to get it back to the way it needs to be. Switching out, I don't want to go into details because I just don't need to do that. But I like where we're headed. I think
they are trying. I think they're doing a really good job at trying to work for the people, like trying to make options. It's great. I'd like a rally ride too.
you would.
Just teasing.
You would.
I mean, I'd probably love it, but I am one that would not need it.
I don't
Give me the
need it, but I
GTS.
want it.
Yeah, that's all of this. Is like
I know, but if you have to pick
don't
one
need two
today
boards,
that
I'd pick
you're
that.
willing to write a check for
I'd
right
pick
now.
that. If I could write it,
the
I'd
rally.
pick that.
I would do the rally all
I
day.
know you do a rally.
Here's what I want to know in it, and I don't know if anybody's even in the chat yet. Hey, I wrote it.
Matthew
Yeah.
Hale's in the chat.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
just
yeah.
jumped in. He rode Austin's this weekend.
Okay, then tell us what does it feel like? Do you feel like your back leg is raised more or the front leg's more
He says it
raised?
feels stable.
Comfortable
he'll say
and
it again,
stable.
but-
So nice.
I mean, that's
That's
what
what he said. It feels pretty sweet, feels comfortable and stable. That's why I love the GTS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
so you
the
would
board
like it.
itself feels
Stability,
stable
yes. Matt
was riding with all that crew down there in Tennessee. You got to see through Austin's Instagram channel, just seeing where the trails they were riding. It was pretty cool. Looked hot. Austin, at one point, I thought we were going to have to send him some help. He had drove all night or something, and then he was just melting. The humidity is real in the
Austin
Midwest.
looked hot.
Oh, yeah, he was breathing
he was
heavy.
just like humidity is
Oh.
real. Like
Yeah, and when
it's
you
hot down there.
aren't used to that, like when I would travel to Ecuador or Peru in the middle of winter, and you get off a plane and it just hits you in the face, and your hair frizzes out in this moment notice of humidity, you're like, "What did I just do to myself?" That's intense stuff. And so I think that's what was happening to Austin. Some other news. We'll switch a little bit of the topic, but this is one wheel related. If you follow Wheel Fun Stuff on Instagram, you will see that Kyle's been posting some nostalgic stuff, asking memories about their warehouse as they're tearing it down and they're moving their services and things around. I don't know where all those details lie, but just watching it, you can sense just in Kyle's demeanor. It's one of those moments in life that's a little bit of a bummer, but always trying to make things fun. So if you have a time, go to Wheel Fun Stuff or Kyle Fun Hansen, I think is his personal. Go give him some love. Just say, hey, man, appreciate what you do. Love on him today. Him and Allie have done a lot for the community, and he works
They
on
got
so
a
many
lot of
boards.
love for this community.
Yeah, and they just hit a spot, when you got a dream that seems to like, what's going on here? They could use a good jolt of some love from other humans, just saying, good job. Who knows? They might watch this later on this week. You can put a comment in the chat as well for them. They've done a lot for the community and just trying to figure out what's next as they continue to service boards in their community. And then also, on the other side, you have a new beginning for one of the pro women that she's doing nothing but winning so far this year. And she got the earring unstuck from her ear.
Yeah.
And she is back to riding and winning. She and her boyfriend got a van, and now they're traveling.
They're
Zane.
Exciting.
You'll probably see.
Yeah,
them
have
at
you
Wheel
been
Sports.
seeing any of that?
Yeah, yeah.
They retrofitted a van and stuff.
Super fun.
They're following the footsteps of the Silvas.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see. This weekend is the Wheel Scorchers, North Carolina.
Last race.
Last race. Last chance to get points. Holly and Lily going to point up our point spread to see who's in the first place in the rankings, as we'll discuss that
I know
over
the
the next few
women.
moments.
I think
But
I know the men, too.
We're excited about this weekend because a couple things are going to happen. When we had a couple weeks ago, we had Seek and Shred, and the 6-inch hub was there, but with straight rails. Now you have the Rally Edition. I'm assuming Factory Team's going to be riding that whole setup.
Yeah, they should be.
I'm expecting good things for them. I'm expecting them I just hope they go in there and just do right.
Can someone like Zane last Thursday buy the Rally Edition and have it before Wheel Scorcher?
Well, it depends on shipping. Yeah,
I don't-
You
yeah.
could buy it. It ships today.
Wait, I thought you said August.
No, that's
That's
the
the
fender
Oh, okay.
and the rail guards.
Okay, cool. Maybe
But
some of the others will have it
You
too.
could purchase it and get it there. But the factory team will have it, which will be exciting to see that out in real environment, smashing it. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
excited
love
to watch
seeing
that.
this. I love seeing this for
Yeah, this is awesome.
to be able to see it change and how the ride varies between trails and stuff.
Yeah.
And we get to see it with the factory team because they haven't had these things before. So to watch their racing from the beginning of the season to now,
It'll
is
be
super
interesting
fun.
as well when it comes to Race for the Rails. So if you're brand new to Onewheel Community, there's a whole racing sign, and it's the ORL, One Wheel Racing League. In pros, there are pros, people that they quit all their jobs and they are racing, just getting paid to do that. And they're just testing the limits of these boards on trails in different conditions set up across the United States. It's so much fun to watch. There's a ranking system in points, and there's also first, second, and third podium spots, and they get cash rewards in these things. And it's a great way to see all of these products being developed by Onewheel, also Float Life, and a few other brands that are out there innovating for the sport. And so it's really cool to watch these things being developed. It'll be interesting inside ORL as new boards are being dropped. What are the non-factory team people going to be riding when it comes to Race for the Rail? Are they going to have to? Everybody going to have to ride the rally rails, or are you going to be able to pick your rail, your setup? Do you get to pick what you're going to ride? The straight
Yeah, I
rails,
did think about that earlier
6.5,
today.
6 inches. And then what's going to be very interesting in this is it's going to create a whole nother spot of these pros now have to spend money to get a ORL ranked board to practice on. Are they going to show up on their boards, their vest boards, have rode that, and then think they're going to do a switch? That's where I feel some tension in the sport, is that you have all these different riders that are great, and they're riding wonderful on their setups. I could never keep up with them. But will they ride just as well on a one-wheel board setup?
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you whatever you're putting the most time in,
Is
you're
what
going to be the
you're
best
gonna
at
be
it.
good at, yeah.
This is an Indian lesson. This is an Indian, it's not a fork loader. This is how they just taught the young Indians. They would teach them the saying of that you got two wolves on your shoulders, and what one are you going to feed? And they always talked about there's a dark wolf and there's a light wolf, and the dark wolf represents all the bad things, and the white wolf represents all the good and right things. And whatever you're going to feed is going to be the strongest. So when you're trying to do what you want to do, if it's the right stuff, but you fed all the bad wolf everything, it's going to devour the white wolf. And the same idea, and Native American principle that would be taught is like, hey, if you're going to spend all your time on vests or these rails, and then you spend very little amount of time on an ORL sanctioned board, you're not going to be as good. It's just, there's
And
no way your talent, yes, I got it, your talent's there. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, the board, there's a lot. Talent is a huge, probably biggest percentage of it, but your board also plays part of it too. You're just not going to have the practice on it. It will be very interesting of what is set up for them. And some of the pros that we've gotten the chance to talk to, they have a strategy. Some, not very many of them, choose the more of the stock style of what the racing league or the factory team is riding. So it'll be interesting. Some have told us before, I'm only going to ride what I want to ride until I punch my ticket, and then I'll switch back and practice on that board. Everybody, it's all different. But I've got the rankings if you want the rankings.
So
Okay.
I have a question, though. Is it
Yep.
established that the first 10 go?
They've changed the rules, or not rules, they changed who's coming. They opened it by 3, I think, men and 2 women more. They've added more. So it's not the top 10 anymore. It's the top 13 and 12, I believe,
Oh.
is where it is.
Why is
13
there a
and 12?
difference?
Because there's not as many women riders out there. So
Yeah, but
to
by
keep-
But
one,
there's
that's
12
not-
that can be invited. There's 13 that can be invited.
I know. I mean, I don't know, but in most sports, women always have the pool isn't as big. So to go too far out, I know you're saying 1, but it's just the fall off in skill level. I'm not like that. That's just sports in general.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, the ranking
Going with the men first. Luke Austin has the number 1 spot
with points or
with points. Now, it doesn't say
It doesn't.
he won Dirt Surfers.
yeah. So he's automatically in.
punched his ticket. But it doesn't say that here. It just tells me he also won Seek and Tread. So he punched both of those. So he's first with 620 points. Then Jeff Adair is second with 452. And Austin's in third with 415.
Okay, so read us. Just keep reading.
Okay. Do you want points?
No, we don't need points. We get
Okay.
the-
Number 4 position is Tyler Erickson. Then Jafari, Hayden, Josh Ledford, Jonathan Ortiz is in the number 8 spot. Brendan LaCour is in the 9th. Adonijah's in the 10th. Dave Stewart in the 11th. And what? Chabre, thank you, is in 12. Colton Pratt in 13.
Where's Kyle?
Kyle Hansen's in
17.
number 17. Tyler James is in 15. Eddie
Connor
Metz.
Chappell, Neil Bennett.
I wonder if those guys are all good. I mean, I know Neil Bennett is on his way to Seek and Shred. He's got to have a big week this week. Dave Stewart's got to hang in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they're doing the 13, Dave's doing.
Yeah, but if he, right?
Right.
He,
It depends
the
on how
point
people
spread.
do this weekend.
Oh,
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is interesting because they've got the point spread. Dave Stewart's in 11th spot with 237, and Chabre's only got 235. Yeah, okay. It's real close. That point spread is like
Okay.
2-3 apart. So
Okay.
It can go anywhere at that
can.
last half.
It's a
Can't
big,
really go
it's
anywhere.
a big, I bumped my, Float Life, I bumped my helmet and it stopped spinning.
Did you notice it?
Yep, I'm going to respin it.
Okay, so the last
go.
like
Oh,
6.
they missed it.
They
There
missed
it
it.
is.
The last 6 of the guys are within.
Yeah, but are they going to get to, here's the thing with that. In this style of racing with points, if your competitor
Comes in right after you.
or right at the same
Yeah.
spot, like, right,
Yeah.
you have to get, need people
You
between
need other
you and
people
them.
far enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just show up and you're going to nail it. You need help. All of these people need help from their competitor, and maybe their competitor isn't going to be there. So,
Well, yeah, that very well could be. So in the women's, you've got Zane Carter in number 1. She's at 620, and Mercedes is at 520, and Rachel Cecil is at 350. So those are your top 3. Then number 4 is Nikki Martin. Sarah Meeker is at number 5. Kay Love. Hannah Klossing. Raquel is at 8. Christy Miller's at 9. Ashley is at 10. And Emily French and Heather are at the 11 and 12 spots.
Raquel,
Raquel?
yeah, she only raced twice this year, right? And she's holding that spot.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah.
She got 2nd at Let It Ride and 6th
I hope
at
she
Seek
makes
and
it.
Shred.
I don't know. I don't know her plans or any of
Jeff,
those things.
is Raquel going to Wheel Scorcher?
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope she does. I think that would be so cool to have her race. It'd be pretty cool for sure. Man,
There's a lot that can happen still.
it's a big race this week. It's premier race, so maximum points being available. Winner in. If the same ladies make it, podium. If Zane goes first, that's 3 times she'll have done that, and Luke Austin will have done it 3 times. Here's the deal.
Raquel is not going.
She's not.
Nope.
Oh,
She's at the number 8.
yeah. Bummer.
We think she can qualify for Race for the Rail without it.
Yeah, so she's gonna be a race for the right. That's what I'm saying. Like if
That's
she-
if
That's what I'm hoping.
if
The
this
people under her don't go to Wheel Scorcher
if
and
they
do
don't
really
win
well.
it. Like
Win
if
it?
if anybody
to win
under Raquel goes to Wheel Scorcher and wins it,
No,
that
that's
bumps
not gonna
down.
happen. That's not gonna happen.
Look out,
This
little
is
Emma
good.
Stewart. Little Emma
Well, she
Stewart.
could.
Where's Emma Stewart at?
She's down a little ways, but
She can
that
still do
girl,
it.
she's
Race
15.
one. She's
She's
only race
15.
one.
Yeah, but if she goes there and gets top
She's-
3, she's in. I
she's
think
in.
Math,
That's awesome.
Math wise.
If she's
That'd be so crazy.
that's what happens is it bumps the Zane will still get you know what I mean. If Zane goes in and takes top 3, Mercedes takes top 3, and Rachel Cecil takes top 3, the order will likely stay the same.
Yeah.
But if somebody under Raquel comes and bumps that all down. Emma Stewart's only been in 1 pro race and she crushed
Yeah,
it.
that's crazy.
So look out.
So look who your dad is, though, as well.
Well, of course she crushed it because he is crushing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
also.
Training
So
partner, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely there's a lot of things that could happen, which is why this sport is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Golly.
And I enjoy it. I think again, I don't have anything I release right that's making racing better, but I just think we're gonna start watching as the seasons progress, more and more products that are going to be dropping to make race seasons better and be more competitive. And I just love it. Like I alluded to at the beginning with Float Life doing something in Tahoe, you just go, they got sweet clothes, right? But then they're trying to allude to something that, and last time they did this was the 5-inch hub. They did something like this about this time of year last year, and you see what the 5-inch hub has done.
A lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're the ones that brought the 5-inch hub to the market, and you're going, wow, that thing's amazing.
I was going to say back on the changing of the boards and when it needs to, when you get back to the race for the rails, I do think that the biggest factor will be hooks, no hooks. Like if you are only used to riding with hooks, your ride is going to be so different without it. So
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to allude to. I think rails play a little bit in it. I do think 5-inch hubs. I mean, we're lucky that we have the 6-inch hub to go to, because if it was 6.5, you could go from that. Lily and I have been out on what we do for fun for YouTube racing, and she'll hop on my board and I'll ride her board at the end of the day, and I'm like, you feel every rock on a 5-inch. You just are bouncing over everything, and it's just. And I can't speak for the 6-inch yet.
You're hoping the 6 inches.
I just told Jeff I wanted a 5-inch hub, and he said, "Hang tight. We got a radical updated one coming very soon."
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah. We're hanging tight. Again, I like, in with Float Life in here today, I like what's happening in the sport, in this just push for innovation. And there is, and I hope it's not where one's trying to hurt. I just like innovation, and to see Jeff and team continue to innovate in all their tires that they put out. It's just, they just. I don't think it's out yet to buy. I could be wrong on this. Jeff, tell us.
But they got
they have the Pioneer out for a 5-inch.
Oh, somebody asked for the Pioneer for the XR. Sorry, you're gonna need to get a GT.
Well, maybe now that there's a 6-inch rim going in play,
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe Float Life does that to some of their tires, because the market was definitely dying for the 6-inch. It wasn't, but maybe now they're going to go back to do some of those things. But that Pioneer, hands down, I liked it. I liked it in Arkansas, and I liked it in snow.
I forget, what do I have on mine?
You have this, the GT Performance.
Let me look at my app in the portal.
Yeah, there you go. See? Where again, I think this looks like the Thundercat looks like it is a baby of the Pioneer, just in just a little bit different tread and stuff. But in my opinion, this is one of the first actual treaded tires.
Yeah,
it's not a hybrid tire. This has got a good bite in it. It's going to help you in those trails and eat chunk, and then the compound is super soft, which is. I like soft compound. I get it. It wears faster, but I'm on trails. So that Pioneer, though, it's really, really grippy.
Yeah, Jeff says that the Pioneer is not available yet for the 5-inch.
Yeah, I did see.
There's only 4 of them in the world.
Yeah, and Brooks,
I love
who's
that.
2 hours north of me.
Got one.
He has one. Yeah, he's got one. He's been
nice.
putting it on Instagram. I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Jeff also said that Raquel's not going because he doesn't want her to leave him.
I can understand that.
And with the baby, with the horses, with the ranch. Yeah,
let's be truthful.
We get it.
Even around here, it's okay for me to leave. And Holly has
What?
it locked down. But for her to leave me, what? Then,
That happens very seldom. It has happened, but very seldomly.
no, I say that.
Usually when I'm called in.
A month ago, I had the kids for over a week.
Yeah, I was. Yes, you did.
We
You did a
locked
great
it down.
job. You did a great job.
No broken bones.
All I did was send groceries. Every day
Yeah.
it was a grocery
I
run.
do- yeah.
Yeah, now you have a 16-year-old to drive.
Yeah, we do.
That's nice.
Get after it. But before that, it was like, hey, take your one wheel and go. It was like, what are you doing with
Not
your
to
life?
get the groceries because
What?
it takes the entire back of the van to pick up groceries
Ha.
for our household.
Yeah, right.
Delivery.
So again, I do think we're in a good. We still got to iron some things out in the community for sure, and hopefully time is the greatest healer in some of those things. But I do like progression, and it's happening rapidly. A year ago, the GTS hadn't been dropped yet. 5-inch hub hadn't been dropped yet. And innovation wasn't where it is today for one wheeling, and it has picked up steam over this last year. We got the dovetails that came out of, obviously that was out of if we can't we can no longer balance our boards, this is the answer, which comes to a good. My boys both have. Legend has the WTFs and loves them on his GT. Epic has the 357s on his GT. All software has been completely updated, and they still are level. They have not had to change them. They don't have to write them in any format. I don't understand how that happened when it seems like every other board out there lost that feature. Their board still is able to ride those boards. We've checked it with an actual level. We've done all of those things. Now, the other side to that is we can't unlevel it either. Like if we put the straight rails onto those things, they're going to be tilted because they're meant for the WTFs, which that's a house favorite rail. The way those ride in trails, we've had them way back in the day when I got the gold version of the Bodie rails, WTFs. And so if you haven't caught on, there's a lot of options out there to make your board ride to the style you want it to ride. The best you can do is subscribe to the Float Life. Mm-hmm. They're always checking out new products and bringing you innovative thoughts and teaching you, hey, this if you like this style on street, these are great for you. This tire, they're building these things from the ground up for different terrain. So if you're looking to just make mild tweaks to your ride and you're brand new, go get a tire from them. Got to be quick, though. Because they have limited amounts and they sell out fast. So
because they do an awesome job and they're true to what they say.
You go to these races, everybody's got 5-inch hubs. Everybody does, for the most part. It is. But again, Float Life brought those to the market a year ago, and they've continued to innovate. And so it'd be interesting to see what they like. If they're bringing out potentially another 5-inch hub that's got more innovation to it, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me because they think like that.
Yeah.
Like they've always got something stirring.
Bigger magnets in it, I wonder? That could help. I do think, though, one of the cooler parts of that rail or that hub is that for those that anyone would struggle putting a tire on, because you can pop one side off, you can just slide your tire on. Makes it very easy to change a tire on those things.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm going to stick to my setup.
You do that.
You go get out there and ride tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. She can go mob while I build a tabletop in the middle of the woods, trying not to get carried off by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Lily was riding her board with her husband up in the northern part of Minnesota.
Yeah, I was on the Pioneer tire. That's what Icon has, right?
Yeah.
That was so good. Loved
Right?
it. Yeah, loved it.
It just
With some
eats.
gripples on there.
Yeah, she really needs to get
Oh
it.
yeah,
That's a
she
good
likes
setup.
those gripples.
It's a good setup.
Yeah, her husband has an XR. She has a GT. You probably need to upgrade that XR.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you could vest the XR and get
Yeah,
a
I would.
GTS for yourself and give him the GT, but then he can borrow the GTS
No,
when
I
you
just
guys
think
ride.
that if we best the XR, we would just stick with it.
What?
Until we
No.
got the S
Sorry if I just blew your eardrums
series.
out. Let's ask before we sign off. We got 2 Groms, 16-year-old and almost 15-year-old. What would be the one wheel that you would choose currently if money wasn't an option? Legend. What would you do? The Rally.
Legend
That's one
says
for the
the Rally.
Rally. Rally around the family. Pocket full of shell. Name the song I just quoted. Anyone?
I didn't
don't
hear
know.
it. Sorry.
Rally around the family. Pocket full of shells.
That's
Isn't it like Beastie Boys?
No, but close. Epic, what would you go with?
Probably the rally though.
The Rally.
Is it Cake?
That's 3. Cake? Nope. Nope. Bowls on Parade. Name of the song?
oh yeah.
Still don't know?
No, I don't know.
You don't know who sings that song?
Well, I guess my two.
That song, you guess you're 2, but I want the band.
It is Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against
Oh,
the
yeah.
Machine. There you go. That's a good song. Okay,
Okay, the
everybody.
boys are both going with the rally ride.
Rally ride it is. So at the end of the day, it's the rally ride with the Pioneer tire. That would be except for if you do the rally, you don't have a 6-inch. See the problem? Creating more problems. Because you go to the 6-inch and then no Pioneer. These are things you got to think about.
But it comes with the tire.
I know.
But
But
you not choices of tires.
yeah,
you get,
that tire is a good tire.
but it's not. You like the Pioneer or the Thundercat's
Yeah, that just in
probably
the
gonna-
winter doesn't
Yeah.
do as well. It's a bit of a hybrid tire. It's not a deep tread for
Whatever
snow.
will we do?
Yeah, these are first world
Probably
problems. But thank
what
you to Float Life
wants to.
and Onewheel for creating dilemmas in the first world problems. It's great. You do a great
Got
job of it.
options.
We have options to
You
just
got
wish we had.
expensive options.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Have
Bye,
a
everybody.
wonderful Wednesday. I hope you get out there and ride. Lily, have a good night tonight
Thanks.
in what you do.
You
Thanks
too.
for being
Have
here. Happy 4th of July to everyone
Woohoo!
that's watching from the United States of America. Red, white, and blue tomorrow. Eat a hot dog. The day of consuming hot dogs is tomorrow. Number one
Ew.
amount of hot dogs.
That's gross. I will not be
We do
eating a
not
hot
do
dog.
hot dogs on the 4th.
Tomorrow,
of July.
every year, millions are eaten. This is the largest consumed
Not
amount of
from
hot
us.
dogs in a day.
Not from us.
See,
Do
Google.
brats count?
Google how many hot dogs are eaten on July 4th. This is a first world problem. This is a problem because hot dogs are gross. I mean, every year you watch
150 million.
100 feet on one day. 150
Let
million.
us know. What are you cooking for?
And then
the 4th
think
of
about the
July?
hot dog eating competition they do is
Oh,
in
yeah,
New
that's-
Jersey.
It's
It's a-
usually on like ESPN.
It's an American
Yeah.
tradition.
7
Nathan's
or
famous
something
hot
like
dog
that.
eating contest has
Yeah.
been held in Coney Island
Oh, there you go.
every year on the 4th of July since 1916.
Yeah. And here's the deal. It's cringy, and I watch it every year because it's just humans
Well,
just
stop doing that.
shoving hot dogs in their mouth. That's one of the number one choked on foods.
It
I
is
think maybe we
disgusting.
should try to get them to air Race for the Rails from past seasons on the 4th.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Make that a tradition.
Make it a tradition. Make it happen. You call your people, their people talk to you people, and you get it done. All right,
Done.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one. Adios.
Bye.
This one's over.